For a guy who's afraid of heights and also gets seasick, Broadside sure has some unfortunate alt modes. Jello again, Aaron here from My Turbo Reviews, and today I want to take a quick look at the only G1 triple changer to never have received an updated version in modern times until now, and that is, of course, Titan's Return Broadside. I'm starting out in his jet mode because it's the most questionable of the three, and while it's not terrible, it's also really not all that great. Aerodynamically, I'm not quite sure that this guy would be able to fly, and he certainly isn't helped by the backwards facing wings. I'm not exactly sure why Hasbro went that route. He's got a cockpit which opens up to reveal his Titan Master partner, Blunderbuss, who we'll of course go into in a little bit more detail later. He does have a spot for his weapon here in this mode. It's designed so that Titan Master, similar to Blunderbuss, but not necessarily Blunderbuss, can sit in. Although that looks a little silly when he could be sitting in the cockpit anyway, but it is what it is. And of course, this jet also becomes this aircraft carrier, and this mode is pretty decent. I like how big it becomes, and it really does look like an aircraft carrier for all intents and purposes. There's one caveat to that though, and that is that this is the mode where it really starts to become apparent that Hasbro has decided it's much cheaper to add factory applied stickers rather than paint apps and tampograph detailing. It's not so bad for the Autobot symbols, honestly, but I did have some trouble with this runway stickering where this middle piece was bunched up in the box and I had to remove it. There was no salvaging it. It's not to say that it's terrible, it's just that the quality of these stickers is not really all that good. But he makes a more than functional aircraft carrier, and it's looking pretty neat. I like it. I really do. There is a little compartment for Blunderbuss here, his Titan Master partner, to sit in if you so desire. He can kind of fit and sit down right in there, although it does look a little silly. And of course, with Broadside being a triple changer, this aircraft carrier is also this robot. And I know you're asking it. I'm gonna tell you, where is Broadside's head? Well, just in case you have missed it these last number of months, that's where his Titan Master partner, Blunderbuss, comes in. Make sure Blunderbuss's arms are down to the side, flip the legs up, and turn him over. And he becomes a head which easily fits on top of Broadside. I like Broadside's robot mode. It's big, it's chunky, it doesn't have a lot of hollow bits. There's some here in the arms, and that's really about it. Other than the thighs, the legs are solid looking, and he holds together pretty well. Now, of course, you are supposed to press this little button here to flip up some side panels for his head, but honestly, I think he looks just fine with his head situated as it is, with no extra accoutrement, if you will. He's got rather decent articulation, as you would expect a figure of this day and age. The head rotates. Arms have a full range of motion. Swivels. Even the wrist has a swivel. It's due to transformation, but it is there and it's good. Hips work pretty well. Knees. Even the feet do tilt backwards and forwards. They don't rock side to side, but that's okay. As an update of the original G1 character, Broadside is very decent. I sort of wish he were a little bit bigger, maybe a leader class, just because of the fact that you've got the Generations Voyager, Springer, and Sandstorm, which to me he seems to need to be a bit bigger than those two, but doesn't make for a terrible toy. And of course in this mode you can place his gun right in his hand. I don't really care for it all that much. First of all, it's that translucent plastic. And second of all, it's so hollow right in here. It destroys the illusion that it could be a formidable weapon. Overall, this is a very decent toy and one of the better examples of Voyagers in the Titan's Return line, and I would definitely recommend going out and getting him if you haven't already, or if you're on the fence about doing it. Well, this is Aaron from My Turbo Reviews saying catch you later. Here's an esoteric thought for the day. Even though Broadside can change into both an aircraft carrier and a jet, which is essentially an aircraft, there's no possible way for him to be able to land on himself.